Listen, man. It's your boy Earthwind, man. Listen, this is P Greater Podcast, and I just want to vent, and I just want to record this, and whether or not I post this, I don't even know. It's just like a lot of people is draining, and a lot of people perspectives is short sighted, and they don't even see the errors in their ways, nor do they like the mental range to try to intake other people's perspectives. It's like because it's all about perspectives, right? So if your perspective is you was born rich with a silver spoon and everything was handed to you and you're used to the highlights and manning and it's just all the extravagant things and you never leave your echo chamber. When you go to the hood, you might be disturbed, right? Like you might like, dang, like y'all really everybody ain't got a Benz. Everybody ain't got a nanny. Everybody ain't got a tutor, right? You know what I'm saying? In the same other perspective, right? Like born and raised in Chicago, I knew dudes once upon a time who ain't never been downtown. Like the whole world was like 8 square blocks, and if they cross this line, they might get shot. Cross this line, they might get shot, and it's crazy, right? So perspective is a lot, right? But smart person once said that like the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. And if you do a psychology test, it'll show that the more intelligent people are, the dumber they think they are. And the dumber people they are, the dumber people are, the less smart they are. The more intelligent they think they are, their perspective is changing, right? So when you're dealing in this world, and you're going in and out of tribulations, and you're like, hey, I went through this situation. You going through the same situation I went through. Why ain't you just handling it like I handled it? But it's like it's perspective, right? Like you cannot tell that rich kid from Beverly Hills who's feeling hurt and tears over losing a Gucci bag that they can't cry, right? Like their perspective is their perspective. Just like a psychologist is tell you that you cannot tell a crazy person that they're crazy. Like their world is their world. Their perspective is their perspective. The only thing you can do is probably try to get them to understand the point that the perspective that you coming from and how what they do hurts you and hurts the people around them. But if you don't get the way they're vibrating, they're jiving at, like the plane that they're walking on, you're just in the way. And 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 in life, we spend a lot of time dealing with people who don't share your perspective, right? Now, before people get to high in the high chair, like humbly speaking, how was your perspective? A lot of people is jaded. For instance, give you an example. People in America are so jaded, right, to our perspective of living standards, that if I say I give you a job right now, make it $32,000, a lot of people will turn their nose and look up at it, right? But it's a fact, right? On planet Earth, it's almost 8 billion people, right? And if you take all them people and put them in a pot, if you make $32,000, you in the top 1%. That's a fact, right? Perspective-wise, in America, $32,000 might not be nothing. But if you had 32K and you stayed in the Sudan, or use the Aborigines from Australia, or use one of the workers in China up north that they don't even talk about, the Muslims. Listen, that 32,000 is a lot, right? It's perspective, right? And a lot of times people become arrogant to their perspective, right? Their vantage point. And born and raised in America, we got an advantage point, right? It takes a person to go through things mentally and evolve to understand, like, and to even have empathy for people. Like, listen, we are privileged, you know, and there's a lot of places on this earth where people don't have the freedom to do the things that we take for granted. And that's just fact. So when you walk in this realm, North America, Chicago, South Side, like you come across with a lot of people who have been brainwashed by the institutions, and and their humility, their humbleness, their perspective about the world that we live in and how everything is connected, and what we all mean to each other and everything. Like some simple as bumblebees. If you kill the bees, we all die. Like, it's a fact. Like, and people are so tuned in to themselves, the fake self. That's even crazier. That's even a deeper chat. That's even a deeper rant. Like, the people that they be in tune to don't even be themselves. People don't even try to be the greatest versions of themselves. They try to be the greatest versions of what society image standards, social media, like just be you, right? You know, so. And when you go through life and you start elevating and you start changing your energy, you listen, right? You're gonna start vibrating, you're gonna start thinking different, your perspective and accountability and all of that start rolling in. You stop making excuses, you stop making assumptions, and you're just gonna, like, look, this is what it is, this is what it ain't, this is what it could be, this is what it's not, this is what we're going, this is what we're going to do. So it's like humility. You gotta look in the mirror, like, who am I really? Not who I want to be, not who I'm trying to be, not who I have aspirations to be. Like, you gotta, like, who am I really? And how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? Why do I like toxic men? Was my father around? Why do I like toxic women? Was my mother around? Like, we gotta really get to the nitty gritty. And then once you start asking these real questions, right? Like, let's back up. There is not even a point in started asking serious questions about, like, why am I at this point? Why am I this way? Why do I think like this? Why do I move like this? Why do I react like this? If you're not willing to answer truthfully, like that's such a simple statement, but so profound at the same time. Like, you have to be willing to be honest. And you have to be humble a little bit, to be honest. A lot of people pumped up off this social media steroid and chasing the not even the 1%. They chasing the 0.5%, the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's of the world. And if there was another million people born, it won't be another Beyonce, but you want that to be your standard for how you live your life. Like, your standard should be the best you, healthy version of you, not the big-headed, over ego, not the depressed, overly doubting, but like a humble balance, like a humble medium where, like, you could look in the mirror and be like, that's me. Like, the person I see in the mirror and the person I think I am, the energy I think I give off, it all lines up. Because a lot of people, that the person that they see in the mirror and the person that they really are not the same people. They're not. It's like two different characters. Like, you're when you wake up in the morning, you put your Sasha Fierce costume on. You wake up in the morning, you put your Superman cape on, and, like, listen, bro, just be you. Just be Jason. Just be Daryl. Just be Kyle. Just be Tad. Like, just be Michelle. Just be Keisha. Just be you. And that's the hard thing nowadays. In my uneducated opinion, is just being you. Just being the greatest version of you. Betty Smith, Tyrone Jackson, whoever you are, just be you. Don't try to be a clone of Jay-Z. Be the greatest version of you, humbly speaking. Right? I use the example of Shaolin monks. Like you see them monks, you talk to them, you see them in interviews, like they humble. They'll kill you, but they humble about it. Like, listen, I don't want no problems. Listen, stop. No, listen, no. But if it comes down to it, I defend myself. I don't want you to be harmless, but I don't want you to be a cannibal, a vulture, right? Have standards. You know, like, be the greatest, humbly speaking, version of you. Then, once you get to a humble base, you start building on that. You start building on that. You start working your way up, and then, like, damn, I like it. You can look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I like this person. There's always going to be a disconnect when you try to project the image and you look in the mirror, you're like, yeah. You're doing like reverse psychological boosting up your ego. Like, listen, I don't know, man. Listen, this is my uneducated opinion, and this video has no meaning. It's just me wanting to talk. I just felt like saying some things because sometimes you go through life and you throw you curveballs and you be depressed and you be sad and you be heartbroken, you be mad, you be angry, be whatever. And sometimes the emotions can lead you to do things, and now you in a place where you're like, damn, like, how did I get here to begin with? All I'm saying is that a healthy person, humbly speaking, who's really in tune with themselves, they could prevent a lot of situations. You could save yourself a lot of prayers at night. I ain't gotta waste time praying like, God, like, bro, can you just tell my girl to come home? God, bro, can you tell my man to come home? God, can you just tell him? Like, listen, if you are healthy, you wouldn't even put yourself in this situation. Why you even need to waste the energy to pray to God? Because, like, listen, it just save you a lot of time and hassle, so that when you do come to that prayer time, it's gonna be way more pointed, way more streamlined, like way more direct. Like, God, can I just continue to be happy? God, thank you for waking up today. Like, listen, that's where I be at with it. I try to be at with it. I ain't perfect. Sometimes I slip, I relapse. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I allow some energies in my life. I be feeling like I could save them and whatever. I'm trying to be coach. You know what I'm saying? And then they get to triggering me, and I already knew from the jump what time it was. It's just like it was just a matter of time until we got here. I already knew we was gonna get here. Just like hoping that maybe it was that diamond in the rough. But my gut already told me what time it was. And now look at me. Like, look, right? So that's why I'm at with it. Just being in tune. It's less surprises. It's less like, dang, I would never seen that coming. Like, I even. Because if you're not in tune with yourself, you're lying to yourself. It make it easier for somebody else to lie to you. They could paint you a picture. You're like, yeah, you think you need this because if you're dishonest with yourself, it's going to be harder to detect when somebody else is dishonest with you. Now you're in a situation where all things is bad. Like, listen, you lead with honesty with yourself. You could tell the truth in yourself and your thoughts and your actions, your movement, your thinking. If I come at you trying to lead with lies, you're like, hold on, listen. I detect the BS. I'm not going, baby. Listen, right? It's your boy Earthwind, man. Listen, Trilby, if you made it this far, man, let me get ones in the chat. Ones in the chat if you made it this far. This is my first ramble video. I don't even know if I'm going to post, but if I do, salute, gratitude. Y'all know the vibes, right? What's the vibe? One time for the one time. Be great to die. What's up? I just want to say Thank y'all for tuning in to Be Greater Podcast. It's your boy Earthwind. I just want to say, please hit the subscribe button and salute to everybody that's rocking with me. Yeah.